T with the T, she streaming every week. 3:30 to 4:30, just pull up, you can see. If it's trending, Didi Parker, she gon' speak. Them topics be so hot, it be getting spicy.
Discussions with DT Parker. Welcome to the party. Welcome back, y'all. How was the weekend? Hopefully you enjoyed it. We weren't on Friday, because I usually let y'all, do y'all thing on Friday. What up, ATLQ? Welcome. You're my first contestant. So we weren't on Friday, but yeah, we are back at it today. I'm trying to get active on Twitch right now, but IG Live, of course, is active and up and ready. YouTube, always appreciate the folks that run this back. But today we're talking about 50 Cent said that marriage. Oh, 50. I love 50. He is the number one troller. He could say whatever you want to. He be trolling, child, but 50 says marriage is a bad deal for men. 50 says marriage is a bad deal for a man. Do we agree? And then I'll go into the reasoning on why he said marriage is a bad deal for men. So, hold on, bear with me. I can't do two things at once. What up, Chev? Welcome to Discussions with DT Parker. Today we're talking about 50 Cent says marriage is a bad deal for men. Hey, boo. Marriage is a bad deal for men. Welcome, mommy. You're just in time. Rapper 50 Cent said marriage is a bad deal for men. What about the women? Let me stop. He said for the men, and we'll get into the reasons on why he said marriage is a bad deal for men. Boy, y'all want to promote this black unity. Y'all are not doing a very good job at it. Y'all telling folks don't get married. Marriage is a bad deal. What up, Rashad? Y'all are I don't know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, yeah, I'm doing two things at once. Anyway, all right, so we're getting ready to be active on Twitch. All right, new folks, welcome to Discussions with DT Parker. Twitch, welcome in. IG, welcome in. YouTube, thank you to the folks once again that run this back. If you haven't already done so, make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. We're at 215 on YouTube, so whoop, whoop, whoop to that. All right, let's get into it, because 50 said marriage is a bad deal for men. 50 has made it clear that marriage is not a financial risk he is eager to take. What up, Swisher? Particularly after watching wealthy businessmen lose large portions of their fortune in divorces. Curtis Jackson said some of the most successful businessmen he knows have made great financial decisions throughout their careers, only for their relationships to become what he considers the worst financial deal. I want to get this clip, so let me see if I can find this clip, because I know he's talking about this instead of me reading it. What up, Yardies 22? Swisher, what's going on? Mama said he hasn't even been married. How would he know? I guess he got friends that are married. But today, new folks, welcome to Discussions with DT Parker. I hope you guys enjoyed the weekend. We are not even going to recap the verse. I know we said on Thursday that we would come back on here and recap that verse. It's nothing to recap. Some folks thought it was great. Some folks thought it was terrible. I was disappointed, but I already knew after me and Tech had discussed it on Thursday, and after I said I had seen some clips circulating that it was a possibility that Donnell was not going to put on for the city. And he did not do that. So some folks will criticize Joe as well, but again, we're not discussing that today. We're talking about 50 Cent. 50 Cent said marriage is a bad deal for men. Marriage is a bad deal for men. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Y'all are very quiet today. Besides Mama and Swisher, 50 did same one with the baby mama that got diddied. Are you talking about Joy? Is that who you're talking about? That would be who you're talking. You're talking about Joy. Okay, here is the clip where he's talking about it. Let me tell you this.
500 companies, CEOs, the smartest guys we know. If we ask them when they took their biggest losses, right? They stop for a second and they think, and it's about because it's ups and downs in business. Yeah, but it clearly says married and divorced. It's a column. Yeah, that's the biggest investment. The most expensive thing we spend is time. When you invest your time and your energy into something, and then it goes left, it feels crazy. But I'm watching, and when you say, "What more do you want from me?" You know the feeling? I've been in child support court multiple times. Yeah, it's the same shit. It's like, okay, so now where's the friendship? Right. You lost it. Like you said, the person that you thought was significant enough to make a significant other and it to be honored in God's eyes. That's the only purpose of marriage. Outside of that, it's a bad contract. It's a bad contract. The only contract you got to renegotiate to get to a good place is marriage. They give you a bad one to start.
All right, you heard it from the horse's mouth. What are your thoughts on 50 saying marriage is a bad deal for men? Marriage is a bad deal for men. Mama said baby mama got paid too. I'm just saying. I believe she did get broken off. The first, you talking about the first baby mama, right? Swisher said, yeah, I doubt if he want to get married after that. Yeah, I don't see him getting ever married. Hey, T on Twitch. Yo, bro, just wanted to show some real love for your stream because you genuinely got crazy potential, and I like to connect with a top Twitch streamer who posts thousands of live streams. Oh, well, I don't have any of that, but thank you. I'm trying to get there, though. Anyway, so folks, what do you think about what we just heard about 50 saying marriage is a bad deal for men? I want to hear from my married fellas out there. I don't know if Rashad is still on here. Do you agree with 50's comments? Clinkley and I already know you are 100% going to agree with this. Is marriage a bad deal for men? Is marriage a bad deal for men? Like I said, Clinkley and I already know you probably about to be on this train. Choo-choo. So 50 recently just did an interview where he explained that he had seen highly successful businessmen commit to the wrong partner and ultimately paid heavily when the relationship ended. He significantly pointed out the possibility of losing a significant portion of a person's accumulated wealth through divorce. His comments are consistent with what he has publicly said for years. During a 2024 appearance on the Late Night Show, 50 joked that he has made mistakes in life, but getting married was not one of them. He said avoiding complicated romantic situations has allowed him to stay focused on his business and personal goals. All right. I'll play this clip back again in a second for my new folks, but we are discussing 50 Cent. He said it's a bad deal for a man. Marriage is a bad deal for a man. He said, I've talked to the wealthiest men on the Forbes list, and they all say their biggest loss was a divorce. I guess that's why F.A. said you better get that prenup in order. You got a whole lot to say about this. Mama said his second baby mama, because he doesn't claim his first one. He sure don't claim. I don't even, what was her name? Tasha something? It was something, I can't remember. Hey, Clinkley, welcome to the chat.
What's up? What's up?
This is right up your alley right here.
Hey, man.
Look. Is 50, is he on to something? Is he spot
on? Yeah and no. I mean, look, I'll say this, man.
What? You said yeah and no? I'm shocked about that part.
I'll say this.
Did you hear the clip?
I heard like the last few seconds of it.
Do you want to hear the whole clip? I can play it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me play this back.
CEOs, the smartest guys we know. If we ask them when they took their biggest losses, right? They stop for a second and they think, and it's about because it's ups and downs in business. Yeah, but it clearly says married and divorced. It's a column. Yeah, that's the biggest investment. The most expensive thing we spend is time. When you invest your time and your energy into something, and then it goes left, it feels crazy. But I'm watching, and when you say, "What more do you want from me?" No, she ended up in the child support court multiple times. Yeah, it's the same shit. It's like, okay, so now where's the friendship? Right. You lost it. Like you said, the person that you thought was significant enough to make a significant other and it to be honored in God's eyes. That's the only purpose of marriage. Outside of that, it's a bad contract. It's a bad contract. The only contract you got to renegotiate to get to a good place is marriage. They give you a bad one to start. Right?
All right, because Clean, you're engaged and you're soon to be married. What are your thoughts? Because you said you agree, but you don't. So I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, well, the engagement thing, I don't know. I mean, I think we, how could I say? So, in regards to what 50 saying, I think that
All night.
if if it's somebody like the rare case where it's like high school sweetheart, like where y'all literally did everything together, came up together, um, then I can see it being beneficial um from the standpoint of what y'all have attained together. Half of it is hers in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Because
Because
she
she's
was
been with you.
in the gym shooting with you.
Yeah, exactly. Um Now, and plus because y'all been together so long, y'all got a better chance of lasting, you know. Now, in the case of I did it all myself and then I met you when I was 34 and then I pretty much sign away the things that I've attained to you, and in the case you leave, now I gotta break this up. I don't think that's a good deal. I just don't. Like I think that, and honestly, when you look at the family court laws, man, like I think you'll see a lot of dudes start to stray away from it a little bit because it is a weird situation, like because women, I mean, you know, y'all are emotional, you know, like y'all like I can devote my whole life to you, and then you could just kind of grow apart from me, and then just decide to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then now, you know, and like if we break up, it's not like, all right, we broke up, you go move, you go get you a spot, I get me a spot or whatever. It's we gotta get lawyers, we gotta like divorce is
You
some of
got
the
to
worst
split
things
the
that
act, which is
yeah, I like
why Clarissa and Remy Ma, I know, not Clarissa, I'm sorry, Remy Ma and Papoose are not divorced yet because, I mean, she got to sort out them ass. They got to sort them assets out. And that's a process.
yeah, that's a
Um,
process. It's expensive too, man. And that's why I say like even that's why I say like I don't really think it's a good look. I really think that, you know, now if
so
you talk about a prenup,
I was gonna ask you, hold on, because we got some new folks. Welcome to Discussions with Dee Dee Parker. We're chatting today. 50 Cent said marriage is a bad deal for men. He said marriage is a bad deal for men. Clean is kind of on the fence, which I'm shocked because I thought he ate Pecan Brown. I thought you wholeheartedly would be like, hell to the year, 50 is 100% right. Marriage is a bad deal for men. I'm gonna ask you though, Clean, because are you going to make your fiance sign a prenup?
uh yeah, I think we're gonna do a prenup.
Is she gonna be okay with that?
She gotta be.
What do
And
you?
I mean,
What if
and
he's
mind
not
you,
okay with prenup though?
well then we'll
You're not gonna get
not.
married to her,
Yeah,
but you love her though, right?
yeah.
So you are willing not to walk down the aisle if she does not sign that prenup.
Yeah, I don't have to walk down the aisle. I love her. Like I don't need that to prove my love to her. We can stay the exact way we are right now if that's the case. But I have a son, and I'm a 100% single parent. You know what
Uh-huh.
I'm saying? I can't take food out of his mouth or assets out of his inheritance over a relationship that came way later in my life. You know what I'm
But
saying?
hold on there, because isn't she's about to be your wife now? So is God wife then your child? Ain't that the order?
Is it? I'm not aware of that being the
I
order. I mean,
order.
I'm looking at. I mean, that's my son though, and in the case you're talking about is in a nuclear family situation. But this isn't a nuclear family situation. I already had my son before. She's not my son's mother.
So let me ask you a question. When you guys do get married, she will come before your child, no?
Maybe in his older years, but not now. He's 7.
Ooh. Okay. I
I
I
mean, that's just I get what you're saying, but I mean, I'm just looking at it like I say, in my situation, I'm all he has in this world. Like I can't logically do that. Just like if she's got a kid, I would understand if she decided to do whatever's best for her and her child. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but I thought once you got married, that was Rashad. Correct me if I'm wrong. I thought the order was God, the way you love God, your wife, your husband, and then your kids.
100%.
Okay. Because that's why I'm asking him. Because I know your situation is different, clean, because she's now being brought into the situation. But once y'all become one and y'all have that union, I would think no, she would not become before your child. No.
nah, like I said, I'm a 7. My son is 7 years old. I'm a one. I have 100% custody. I'm a single parent. Like, I can't allow somebody to just come in my life and come before him. I'm all he has.
Okay.
And
So,
so, in a situation of marriage where is, let's say, God forbid, I go somewhere and get murked tomorrow, and I have this house, I have some life insurance, I have, like whatever. Or let's say, God forbid, what
No,
was
keep
that?
going.
Oh, I was saying, or let's say, God forbid, we get married and then we divorce. Now my son gets less or nothing at all because somebody I fell in love with and put before him got it in a divorce. So the situation is a little different now. In a nuclear situation where a man and a woman get married and then have a child and then yeah, I agree, but in my situation it's a little different.
Okay. Rashad, before you chime in, let me just tell the new folks what we're talking about. Welcome to Discussions with Dee Dee Parker. We're chatting today. 50 Cent said marriage is a bad deal for men. So I was asking Clean if he's going to, because he's engaged, if he's going to sign a prenup. He said he is going to make his fiance sign a prenup. And then I asked him about the order because I always thought it was, God first, husband, wife, and then your child. Let me read some comments, Rashad, and then I want to hear, because I know you wanted to chime in. 50. Hold on, I read those already. It's a bad deal, Swisher said, when you leave and she takes half when she didn't earn half. Mama said his second baby mama because he doesn't claim the first one. Swisher said, don't pull that woman's manipulation out, Dee Dee. I didn't do nothing. What did I do, Swisher? Harlem's Knight said, shaking her head. Swisher said, hell no. Harlem said, if you have her, you are not all he has. If you have her, you are not all he has. And Mama said, I agree with Clean. No, she should not come first. And Harlem Knight said, you are not all he has. All right, Rashad, welcome to the chat. What are your thoughts on what we've been chatting about?
so there are so many people that have a perspective on this particular type of topic that come from a perspective that the marriage is only going to be short term.
Okay.
They always end up with what if the divorce and what if this and what if they're not together, right? To the point that he is making, if he falls in love and gets, with a young lady, that is a different scenario because he's coming with a 7-year-old child that he has 100% custody over, right? And so that relationship between he and his wife has to grow. But it will, at some point, if the marriage continues, it will have to usurp the relationship with the child. And the reason for that is because the child is going to leave and create their own life. And so at that point, all you are going to have is the spouse. And so that doesn't happen overnight in that particular type of situation. However, when we talk about all of these different things, if we talk about all these different elements, you have to understand marriage is supposed to be forever. And so when it gets to the hierarchy, God, spouse, children, that is normally coming from a traditional scenario, right?
Okay.
That's when you get with a wife, you don't have children, and then you have children. And that entire dichotomy rolls in that particular perspective, right? But in 2026, you have so many different variations that it's not exactly the same. So you have to consider certain things. So you can't just start off with that. Yeah, I went out and married this young lady, but yeah, I got a whole son, a whole daughter. I have kids that were here before her. So that has to go into consideration. But once again, at some point, all of this is supposed to be about evolution. So the relationship with the wife is supposed to evolve beyond the relationship with the kids. It's not supposed to be the kids over the wife for the entire tenure of the rest of your life. That's not the way that's supposed to be. If that's the case, then it's out of perspective, it's out of alignment. So that's just my perspective on that.
Swisher said any man that would say his wife comes before his seed is weak.
Nope, not at all. Not at all. I say that my spouse comes before my kids. I got 3 kids and I love them all 100%. But at the end of the day, these kids are going to leave the house. And so if you are not aligned with your spouse, that is why so many people divorce when they become empty nesters. They end up getting divorced because they put so much time and effort into the kids that they don't put that effort into the marriage. The marriage is key. The marriage is what's going to sustain you, not the relationship with your kids. The marriage is the focal point. Everything else, if the marriage is in alignment, everything else should fall under. It is not if the relationship with the kids, then the marriage is good. No, that is out of alignment, 100%.
Yeah, look, I look at it like this, man. Like, you gotta consider the possibilities. Like, everybody that ever got married thought that it wouldn't break up, and then it happens, and now you fucked. Like, and now so you gotta consider, like, especially in a situation like mine, where it's like, yeah, like he was saying, the relationship will grow over time, and then yeah, but right now I would be irresponsible as a father to put myself in a situation to where a
Hold on real quick, Clink.
relationship.
Hold on real quick. Hello, sweet baby, my sweet baby. You always have such great conversation in the background. If you would just mute that real quick so we ain't got to hear you laughing and giggling. Thank y'all. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. But no, what I was saying was, like, yeah, I would be irresponsible as a father to let somebody come into my life and then rupture my assets to where, in case of a divorce or a death or whatever, my son doesn't get anything or he gets way less. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, yeah, my son is, he'll be 8 next month. So you figure 10 years, he'll be 18. Over the course of that 10 years, the relationship grows. We've proven to each other that we here for the long haul. And, you know what I'm saying? Now, things change. But right now, my number one responsibility in this lifetime is him. It's already hard enough just for a person to take care of themselves. You know what I'm saying? But to take care of a kid, like, 24/7, 365. I'm about to go pick him up in a minute. Every meal, every teaching him how to read, it's all on me. I can't put a relationship over that and then take away from him. That would be irresponsible of me.
That's crazy that you say that. And in Harlem, I'm gonna let you. I see you, girl. I think that's crazy because I think we had this conversation before about who would you put over, Effie, he's not on here, but he definitely said his wife comes before his kids, and even his daughter he has with somebody else. Swisher said, if your wife falls in the ocean and your child, who you saving? New folks, welcome to Discussions with Dee Dee Parker. Hold on, Harlem Nights. Let me run this back what 50 said about marriages are not good for a bad deal for men.
Big companies, CEOs, the smartest guys we know, if we ask them where they took their biggest losses, right? They stop for a second and they think, and it's about because it's ups and downs in business.
I see you, Pecan
But
Brown.
it clearly says married and divorced. It's a column. Yeah. That's the biggest investment. The most expensive thing we spend is time. When you invest your time and your energy into something and then it goes left, it feels crazy. But I'm watching, and we said, what more do you want from me?
Rolling. He know he do.
You know the feeling? I've been in child support court multiple times. Yeah, it's the same shit. It's like, okay, so now where's the friendship? Right. You lost it. Like you said, the person that you thought was significant enough to make a significant other and it to be honored in God's eyes. That's the only purpose of marriage. Outside of that, it's a bad contract. It's a bad contract. The only contract you got to renegotiate to get to a good place is marriage. They give you a bad one to start. Pause, right?
Damn. Harlem Nights, welcome to Discussions with Dee Dee Parker. You wanted to chime in. What are your thoughts on everything that we have?
I was just saying, for one, I was agreeing with Rashad. Number one, I do believe that your spouse should come first because there is going to be a day that your kids grow old, just like he said, and they got to leave the house. And then you sit here with a stranger because you've been soccer momming and cooking and doing laundry, and you don't even know who this person is you're married to. And now you're in this house with a stranger. I feel like that is a big thing that contributes to divorce, in later years. But to, kind of chime into what Clean Clean got going on as far as, saying that your child is the most important thing to you because your child is your biggest responsibility. So I get that. And all single mothers are dealing with that. Like we all have had, to be able to tell that story. I'm taking care of my kids. I have to make sure that the kids are okay. But one thing that we also have to consider being single parents and dating or inviting someone into our lives, you should not invite anybody that don't see that child the same way you see that child. If you invite someone into your world and we're talking about getting married, then me and my spouse need to have a conversation about where the child stands for us, not just for me. If my child is the most important thing to me, my child should also be the most important thing to my spouse. And together we should feel that way about the child together, not, oh, well, I worry about if I pass away or if something happens to me, what's going to happen to my child? No, I need to know that beforehand, and I need to work those things out with what we call wills, what we call, you know what I'm saying, final wishes and things like that. Those are things I'm going to work out with my spouse before we ever make it to the altar. We're going to talk about that stuff in premarital counseling. We're going to handle what the expectations are going to be and what I'm looking for as far as a mate when it comes to my kids. One of the things that made it okay for me to marry my second husband was the fact that he was 100% invested in what was going on with my son at the time. It wasn't just about me. It was about, oh, okay, this woman has a child. I saw him outside when the first day he met my son, he took my son outside and started playing soccer, and start trying to get to know who he was and spending time with him. To me, that says you're not just invested in who I am, you're also invested in my responsibility and what I have to, what I have obligations to. So for me, I wouldn't even invite anybody in my world that don't see my child as the priority. That even today, my ex-husband that I just divorced, he still talks to my child as if, he still comes and picks her up and they go have dinner and go hang out because they built that bond, they built that relationship. So I wouldn't even invite anybody in my world that, they don't see my child as their responsibility the same way I see my child as my responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. I mean, and I agree with what you're saying, but I think my mindset is I'm always early. The first half of my life, I think I was a little bit more emotion over logic, but then the second half of my life, I became more logic over emotion. And the logical standpoint is, I mean, of course, she loves my son, of course. Like, definitely would never, bring anybody in that's not like that. But at the same time, the logical standpoint is our responsibilities are different. And, she can love him all day, but if we was to divorce and if things weren't on good terms, especially now as a 7-year-old, she's not gonna talk to him no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're
You
gone, and
don't know
I'm.
that to be fact. Did you?
Well,
Did you
no,
know
no,
that to
no.
be fact?
Well, okay. Here's the thing. Let's just be practical and say,
Because
I
how
don't
long
know,
have y'all been together?
a little over 5 years.
You don't think she would not talk to? And you said she's raised him since he was pretty much a baby,
No, no,
right?
no, no. I'm not saying. I'm saying now. Mind you, divorces get ugly sometimes. It's not always cordial. Where like we divorce and everybody's still friends. Anything can happen. She could cheat on me, and then like anything can happen. And I'm saying like regardless of whatever happens in life, he's my responsibility. In her life, things can happen to where he's not her responsibility anymore, and so I have to think that way. I have to consider that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm always in that mindset of like prepare for these things. Too many times in life I got caught off guard because I had so much faith in something, or I was so idealistic about something, and then it turned, and when it turned, I wasn't prepared and I had to start over.
I got
So you see what I'm saying?
you. I got you. Rashad, go ahead.
So let me challenge you on this because it sounds like your perception on the scenario is adversarial.
Mm.
It's her versus him. And if I give too much to her, I can't give to him. So I got to give more to him. So I can't give as much to her. And the one thing that I would challenge you on is instead of looking at them individually, look at them together.
We're a team. We're a unit.
Because of the fact that you are the head of the household. You are not ahead of her and him. You are the glue. And so you're not the
I
glue.
can challenge that though. I can challenge that to say we're a team as long as things are going good.
Oh boy.
But
Well, but
if things start to go bad, then it's not a team anymore. See,
okay, so let's
in
look
a
at it this way.
marriage, like God forbid, you and your wife, y'all got 3 kids. Y'all were a team from the beginning.
Mhm.
So even in divorce, y'all are a team to raise these kids together.
Okay.
But in a situation like a relationship after a person already had kids, when the divorce happens, everybody goes back to their side, and then you take from another time. Divorces get expensive and ugly in a lot of situations. So
Yes.
even in that situation, how much of a team are we if he's my responsibility and I'm going broke because of the divorce? And she living with her sister and dating a new guy.
So let's take it back to something I said initially. There is a possibility that you can manifest things that occur in your life. And if everything that you're focusing on when it comes to how you handle your household has to do with trying to ensure that everybody is okay if it doesn't go right,
A lot.
that may prevent it from going right.
Mm-hmm.
It has everything that ever happened bad in your life. You manifested it, or did some shit just happen?
No, sometimes it happens, but the one thing that I can tell you, I don't sit there and say,
Think about it.
damn, I'm probably going to get into a wreck. Even though I have this insurance and I know that I'm
Not
paying on it
keyword
every month.
insurance. You
Yeah,
got
but
insurance.
so
What
let's
I'm
look at it
talking
this way.
about is insurance.
Well, so at the end of the day, I'm only talking about a frame of mind. I'm not saying don't set up elements to ensure that you're going to be okay either way. What I am saying is that proceed forward as you lead your family with the mindset that this is going to be forever if you're married. Now, if you're not married, that's a whole different scenario.
That's the mindset.
Sure. So, but at the end of the day, how can that be the mindset when every time we talk about anything related to marriage, your go-to is, but what happens if we divorce?
No, that's not my go-to when it just comes to marriage. That's my go-to when it comes to everything in life. That's the type of person I am. Same with my house. I got plans set in place in case the property taxes get too crazy over here and I gotta get the
Yeah.
I'm just like that. It's not just towards the marriage. Like I said, early in my life, I dove into things more emotionally and I didn't take care of my responsibilities logically and I got burned. So
Sure.
that's why now, when it comes to everything with my career, with my house, with my car, with everything I got going on, I put things in motion to where if this falls, I can do this, I can move this, I can
Okay.
take care of this. That's just how I am.
Fair enough. I'm not saying that it's wrong to be proactive, but what I am saying is that at some point, if you have taken care of your business, then you should be able to have that sense of peace that you don't have to focus on it anymore because you already set your parameters, right? But to set your parameters and to continue to stress over things, then that's not a healthy position to be in, right? You're supposed to set your parameters. You're supposed to set the elements of proactivity so that you don't have to worry about it going forward. So what I'm saying is, yeah, put the things in place, but at the end of the day, stop worrying about if it doesn't work. If it doesn't work, you've already prepared for that. So let that shit go. Focus on forever as opposed to what tomorrow looks like if we're not together anymore. And the reason why I say that is because the one thing that I can tell you, all of these men that are out here talking about marriage ain't worth it, very few of those men are still married. So if you talk to a man that is still married, he may have some of the same thought processes, but at the end of the day, his focus is in a different perspective. Because it's like,
but like I was saying, as long like what he said in the clip, where he said if you ask most of these successful businessmen or whatever, like what was their biggest loss that they took or whatever, they usually go to marriage because not only the money that they invested, but the time that they invested. If you invest in the money and the time into the marriage and y'all stay together forever, it's the best investment of all time. You get back 100-fold, you know. But if it goes, if things go bad, then now it's like, oh shit, I can't get that 12 years back. I can't get that 2.3 mil back or whatever I did. So it, like I said, as long as things are going good, now my mindset is forever. Like that is, I wouldn't go into it if that wasn't my mindset for sure. But I'm also aware that everybody's mindset is that going in, and then things happen. So you would be smart to prepare.
So now, once again,
okay, because I want to ask him, why do you want to get married?
Why you said why do I want to get married? I mean, I believe it's the right thing to do, religiously, spiritually. I do love now, mind you, my mindset on marriage is a little different because I know like a lot of these things are like man-made concepts, right? Like a ring, going down to like this is all stuff that we came up with. But as far as devoting myself to the person I love for the rest of my life, that's why I want to do it.
It's funny because when I asked you this question, and I believe I asked Efe this question, who's not on here. No one led with because I love her. That's why I want to get married. That was not the first response.
Well, that's what I just said though. As far as devoting myself,
Well, the other, I would think you would have led because I'm getting married because I love her, not because it's the right thing to do. That
Yeah.
sounds
Well,
like
you, but once again, the way I think, you gotta understand that, like, how many times has a man been told or a woman been told that love isn't enough? There's other aspects that have to go into things for it to work out. You can love somebody to death. There's people who love somebody to death, but love wasn't enough. They lost a house. There was a death in the family. This and that happened, and and they grew apart or whatever. Like, it's more than love. So yeah, love is the center and the key, but there's more to it. As a man, I've seen too many men be head over heels in love, and that wasn't enough because they couldn't provide at a level that kept their partner happy,
Can
and
I say
and, and
something?
and then it's gone.
Can
So
I
no, love is the number one reason. It's the key, but I consider it's all encompassing.
go ahead, Hassan.
can I say something? I'm one of those who also believe that love is not enough. Okay, I do agree with you that love is not enough. However, I also agree that you have to lead with love. And if you lead with love and the love is real and the love is pure, then your intentions are going to be real and your intentions are going to be pure. So even if things tend to go the wrong way, even if it's not working out, even if you get in it and it's not working, the love for that person is going to make you feel like, okay, we don't have, like, for me, I'm like, we don't have to be together, but just because we're not together doesn't mean that I gotta hate you, because at some point there was a time that I was in love with you,
Mm-hmm.
and the love didn't die because the relationship is not going to continue. The love just turned into something different. So now I'm gonna love you from over here, and I'm gonna handle my business and you go handle your business. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I can't deal with you. We can't be, we can't deal with each other. No, I'm gonna lead with love in every sense of dealing with anybody, especially with the person that I'm in relation with, that I'm relating with. I'm gonna lead with love first. So for me, I get the premise of a prenup. Like, I understand people have to protect their assets, but if we're not in the mind state where we get together and everything that I built, you see it as an accomplishment for me, you honor it, you respect it, and then you done built something, and I see everything that you've built as an accomplishment for you that I honor and I respect, and then we continue to build things together. You mean to tell me we done spent this time together, we've been sleeping in the same bed, and now all of a sudden we can't even come to terms with where our assets belong?
That happens all the time, though,
I get
Harlem
that I
Nights.
get that it happens. I'm
Like
not
that, like
denying.
divorce is my
I'm
my
not
attorney.
denying that it happens. I'm just saying that people are selfish.
Uh,
People walk into these situations with their own ideas of what the marriage is going to look like, and not considering the other person but considering themselves
well, these things happen
first.
though, because you gotta understand, love is an energy, and that
I'm not
energy
denying I'm not
that
denying that it
energy can
happens.
be converted.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
that,
not.
the same intensity that you have to love this person, if that person was to do something that's not best case scenario, hey, we grew apart, we're gonna get divorced. You know what? I love you, so you take the house, I'll take the two cars, you take the kids on Wednesday. It don't happen like that. It be fuck that motherfucker. I would like it happens. Like, and my attorney that I was with
But
for
why do
my
you feel
custody
like that would
case.
happen? So this is my thing,
I'm
though.
not saying it will happen to me. I'm just saying it
But that's
happens
that's
all the
my
time.
question, because that's what we're hearing you say, is that it can get ugly. Like, we
No,
keep hearing you.
I'm saying
I'm just saying what.
that's the reality. That's
But
the
listen to
reality
what
of
I'm
life.
saying. Listen to what I'm saying. We understand what the reality can be.
Hmm.
What we're hearing you speak is the worst case scenario with your fiance. If things get bad, she's not going to, I'm not going to, if it gets bad. So it's almost like you're deciding to marry somebody, but yet you keep saying if it gets bad. I mean, it's okay to have a plan B. There's nothing wrong with having a plan B.
But like I
Okay.
said, we're only zeroing it in on that because that's what the topic is. But I'm telling you, I'm like that with everything in life. We just happen to be talking about one thing.
Yeah.
You
Hold
see what
on,
I'm
y'all.
saying? But
We got
I'm like that with everything. These divorces get my attorney that I was with in my child custody situation. Handles divorces and stuff. Man, the stuff that she done told me, like the stuff I've seen from my friends. I got a homeboy right now. I told you about this Didi on the show like a while ago. I got a homeboy right now that is living in the basement of his own house that he bought and he is in a sexless marriage. His wife does not like him anymore, but he attained everything he had before he met her, and he don't want to divorce and lose everything. So instead, he just stays in the basement and has a girlfriend.
That's insane.
Right.
100% insane. Ain't no
It
man.
sounds like a
Look,
choice to
go
me.
go ahead, go ahead, Didi. I'll go ahead and get to
Okay,
your
hold on,
people.
because yeah, we got some
Yeah.
new folks on here. Welcome to Discussions with Didi Parker. We're chatting about 50 Cent saying marriage is a bad deal for men. He said, I've talked to the wealthiest men on the Forbes list, and they all say their biggest loss was a divorce. Hold on, I want to read some comments before we go to you, Rashad. What up, FA? Pecan Brown said, I need some alignment because there are some times when I tend to put my son before my spouse. I know this is wrong and I'm working to do better. My son is a senior this year. She said, your show continues to help me recognize things that I need to correct. Thanks to all the panelists. Swisher said, you got the right mindset on it. You ain't wrong, clean. And Mama said her obligations would end with divorce. Swisher said, might be a bad sign to think this much about divorce before even getting married. Mama said, or some have never been married like 50. Clean will always see the glass half full. I think that's half empty, right? When you're optimistic. Mama said, I can honestly say I no longer love or have love for my ex-husband. Mama said it's not always selfish if a person is toxic. FA said you're welcome. FA, I did want to bring you on, but there's no room right now. Because I had a question for you. Because I asked Clean this question, because he's getting ready to get married. So I asked him a question on who's coming first.
Oh, congratulations, brother.
Thank you.
Yes, he's engaged.
Yeah, look, man. If it's right, I definitely support it, man. 100%.
So I
Thank you.
asked the question, who is going to come first once he gets married? Will it be his wife or will it be his child? But Rashad, you wanted to respond to some of the things that had been said. Go ahead. You got the floor, sir.
So another thing you got to think about when you when you listen to all of these superstars and they start speaking into the lives of regular people, you have to remember another thing. One of the, I think, simple understandings that we have to remember when it comes to those types of men, the question you have to ask them is, yeah, they're upset that they've had to give half of it away, but how much did they contribute to the relationship no longer being valid?
Mm.
If
Accountability.
you tell me that 50 cents and all of those men on the Forbes 500 list, if they put 150% into the relationship, then it went left, then I can understand that. But let's be honest. Those relationships were probably filled with infidelity. They were probably filled with lies. They were probably filled with all of the things that comes with those types of relationships, right?
Thank you,
And
Rashad.
so it's just like Hefe says, these women know what they sign up for when they get into relationships. Fair enough. So then that means that the men should understand what comes with it as well. And so you can't be sitting over here crying about she took all of my money when hell you was banging everybody that you came across.
And also, you gotta include the standpoint, and a lot of people don't like talking about this, man, but it's just the truth. In that realm of life, the money is a large part of the reason that the attraction from the spouse is there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the times Because like even if you take celebrities out of the mix, right, and just
Hmm.
put regular people in, a lot of these marriages are ending. If it's not over infidelity, it's over money. It's
Yeah.
Yeah,
over he got laid off and the house
yeah.
got foreclosed and
Hmm.
the like. So and that's why I say like a lot of times it's not just infidelities or this and that, man. It's a lot of dudes out here that's married right now. They love their wife to death. They love their kids. If they get laid off and shit get bad for 18 months, that marriage is over.
Let me touch on that thread real quick
Go ahead.
because you are 100% right. But there's a reason that you're right. One of the reasons that you're right is because the largest desire and need that a woman has is to be stable.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not able to make a woman feel as though her tomorrow is going to be okay,
Shouldn't get married.
I don't want to say that because at the end of the day, the person you are today is not necessarily the person that you're going to be tomorrow, right? So it's a woman's job to tap into looking at the potential of the man, right? And to say, if he does get laid off, does he have the desire? Does he have the will to get back out there and go figure out how to make it work? Even if I have to hold it down for a little while, I don't want to hold it down for the rest of our lives, right? So I can do my part and help bridge those gaps, but they can only be gaps. They can't be the norm because if they're the norm, then a woman doesn't feel safe anymore. And so you can't fault women for that. We got a lot of dudes that jump down women's throats because they want men to be the provider. Well, it's like, yeah, let's be honest. A dude that is really trying to create a legacy in life, he doesn't want his wife pulling him along. He wants to know that his wife is going to hold him down while he figures it out. Those are two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we talk about 50 cents and all these other dudes that's on this, on this thing crying and stuff, look, I don't want to hear anything about how much money you lost when you wasn't putting your 100% into the marriage in the first place. Because if you got that much status and you ain't signed a prenup, you deserve everything you get.
Well,
That's
that's
just smart.
that
Yeah,
fact.
50 married a video model too.
That,
Like
He
that,
don't
not
care.
for
Everybody
50, but yeah.
care.
yeah. So that's my point. It's like, look, there is no reason that you should not do your risk assessment up front to take care of the foundation, like Clean was talking about, right? And
Risk
like I said,
assessment.
Clean, take care of the foundation. Once your foundation is taken care of, go be a fucking good husband. That's what we don't talk about.
Mm.
We don't talk to the men and just say, nigga, go be a good husband. Then we talk about all the things that the wife done did, but nigga, are you being a good husband? Or are
Mm.
you at least doing your best to be a good husband?
Oh
Because
boy.
if you run into the altar with the understanding that you ain't trying to be right in the first place, whatever happens is your fault. And I will say that to any man in the space, 100%. I don't give a fuck how much money you make, because we are the heads of the household. Every
Hey,
man is gonna tell you that. Ain't no man gonna tell you he want his wife to be the head of the household.
And
We are the
women
head
want
of the
y'all to be the
household.
head. We want, as women, we want men to be the head.
Well,
That's what gets missed. That's what gets missed. Innately, we get with the man because of this knight in shining armor mentality that we are raised to walk around with.
but let me help you understand though.
Hold on, let me finish.
All right.
We walk into a situation. We women naturally have this knight in shining armor mentality when it comes to men. Most women, not all women, but most women. We walk into this situation, and then when we come in, we see weakness. Because men are human, just like women are. Men are human. We see weakness. Some of us will give an opportunity for the man to regain that knight in shining armor status that we initially walked in with. And if they're not working or pulling up to the plate and saying, hey, I am him. I fell off for a minute, but I am him. If you got a woman that's going to hold you down, you good. But if you're not pulling up and she's just steady waiting, and then she got to go work 12 and 13 and 14, 16 hours, and she got to do all, she got to pay all this, and she got to pay all this, and then you still not trying to pull up, eventually she gonna be like, well, shit, I thought I married a
Eventually, whoa,
king.
whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up, though. Hold up, though. Isn't it for better or for worse until death do us part?
It's supposed to be that on both
Or is it
ends.
as long as you can make me feel safe, or and if not, I'm
No,
gone?
it's supposed to be that on both
Because
ends.
here's the thing. Let's say I take 100 dudes and put them in a room, right? Only maybe 3 of them is him. Like, not every guy is him. Not every guy is this confident, money making, I'm going to take care and rule the castle. And most guys are regular dudes. And they need somebody that's going to be with them no matter what happens in life. Whether he get laid off, whether he get into a car accident and lose a leg, whether anything happens,
Even if he
it needs
making
to
extra
be
babies,
till death do us
he
part.
bringing
Because
all
look,
different kind of
if
babies and
it's not
diseases in the house. Yeah, no.
if it's not until death do us part, then the marriage now becomes conditional. And it's
Okay.
conditional upon my ability to be him. And the minute I ain't him, you gonna go find another him, or you gonna leave me. So no, that's why I say we get it in our culture. We want every nigga to be him. It's not don't work like that. These dudes, when you go up to Home Depot and you see these Mexican dudes standing outside looking for work, and some days they don't even get no work, that marriage still has to survive because that dude ain't him. He's standing outside of Home Depot with a ladder.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm keeping it 100. Like,
Why he not? But
everybody's not
he
him.
trying. He trying to make a living. He trying to work.
So you got
Yeah,
to
but
understand.
he trying, but he may not be able to bring home the bacon
I don't give
enough
a
for
trying.
that woman to just
Trying.
know. So guess what? Now she got to work nights somewhere, and if she got to do it for 5 years, 20 years, 3 years, it needs to be I'm with this man for life, no matter what we got to
What
do.
is he
So
doing while
what? Wait,
she's
hold on,
doing that?
I got it. Hold
What
on,
is
real
he
quick.
doing?
Hold on, real quick. So the point that she is making when she says him, right? I don't think it is much. It is as much about being the biggest financial provider as much as it is he needs to be putting more effort into leading the family than she is.
Yeah.
If you can't necessarily get out and make more money than she makes, here's the deal. My wife out earns me. She out earns me. But we don't have any confusion in the house of the vision is supposed to come from me. If she has to step into that visionary role more so than the financial provider, that's where the issues come from. So when it's him, it's not, you know, being employed at a Fortune 500 company. It's more so, how many black men do you see at the Home Depot that ain't got jobs that's trying to go and figure out how to make it work? The Hispanic women, they're okay with that being him.
Well, the black dudes is at the temp agency
Well,
and the
okay,
construction
some.
site,
Let's
and
be honest.
Yes.
Some.
it's a hard economy,
Some.
guys. Like,
No.
everybody's not out here
100%.
making 120. Like everybody can't win. Like
100%.
you know what I'm saying? Like even me being in the spot that I'm in right now is somebody else can't be in the spot because I'm occupying the spot. Like, everybody can't win. That's why I say we got to create a culture to where it is till death do us part, no matter what. Because
So,
if our culture is as long as you big daddy and you doing all of that, then when you was in school and there was 25 kids in your class, how many of those boys were alphas? Maybe one,
no,
maybe
it's not
two.
everybody.
Like,
100%.
everybody can't be him.
100%. But let me ask you this, though, because what I also hear on the flip side is that for every man that's out there hard working and paying bills and all this other stuff, if he has a woman that's not bringing him peace at home,
Yeah.
if he has a woman that's not cooking, if he has a woman that's not handling the bedroom the appropriate way, we use those as reasons that to do us part is no longer applicable.
Right.
So it's conditional on both sides, which is why I
That's what
really
I
don't.
just
That's
said.
why I really don't delve into that, because for everything